Okay, well, we've been in this series, Stories of Hope, and featuring some awesome teachers around Eden who are sharing some personal stories around just difficulty and challenges that they've been through. And today we have Mr. Bueckert. Clap for him. Yeah. Everyone's favorite math teacher. And yeah, they've been going into some great stories of just, like I said, personal challenges and some difficulty and wrestling through that, trying to find hope through it as well. So, briefly just introduce yourself, your connection to Eden, and how you became a teacher here.
Wow. My name is Arnold Bueckert. I have a family of 4, wife and 4 kids, 3 boys and a little girl. And I've been a teacher at Eden for a while. Your parents might know who I am. And the path to Eden was, like, when you look back at it now, was actually quite neat, and you can see God's leading in that. But I was a student at Eden. I was student council president. I did all the Eden stuff, wore the uniform, did the chapels every day. But it was out in Niagara Lake. After Eden finished, we talked about having plans. I knew what my plans were, and they just did not work, right? Like, for the next 5 years, every year I was in a different province, I think, back and forth. So I went to Winnipeg, came to Brock my 2nd year, back to Winnipeg my 3rd year, back to Brock my 4th year. Very indecisive, looking for God's will. And then finally got into Teachers College, and it was my final year at Teachers College where it was my associate teacher goes, "Hey, there's an opening at Eden. I heard you went to school there." And I had an interview and got on as part-time, and it's been good. It's been good. Yeah, that was in the 1800s. I don't know when that. Yeah, it's been a while, and what a ride! Like, if you would look back, it's been 3 different buildings. I started when there was like 200 students, and now there's 1,200. So my dream was always to teach in a big school, but I wanted to stay at Eden, and look what happens. So it's been good. A lot of positive changes, and with that comes, growing pains. But it's been really good to see. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, so I actually remember Mr. Bueckert sharing when I was a student here, and just feeling so encouraged to know that there are teachers out here who just have real stories that they've gone through. And one of the stories that you shared, and I remember very clearly, was the story of your son Matthew and his battle with leukemia. I would love if you could share just a bit with the students here, a bit of that journey.
Sure. We are also talking about, stories that of hope and some stories that require that are heavy stories, right? Like, and it's always, and now with having, I do have other children, but whenever people see me, it's always, well, how's Matthew doing? And I go, well, do you want to hear about, Daniel, Jason, Sophia? No, just Matthew. How's he doing? Go, all right. He's doing okay. He's doing well. The journey started about 9 years ago. He's 11-year-old kid now in grade 6. He wouldn't like me talking about him because when you go through all this stuff, he just wants to fit in as being a normal kid. But his life was anything but normal. It's one of these things as a parent you dread. So the first time we took him in to the hospital when he was 2 years of age here in Niagara, and they didn't know what was wrong. They did blood work, and it was out of whack. And I remember that word, out of whack. And, the internet is the worst thing to go on, and it's like this thing that you go, all right, let's eliminate all these things that are wrong. And down at the bottom was cancer. And you're just going, oh, please, blood infection. Oh, please, broken bone. Oh, please, whatever. But no, it got down to that, and it's like your worst nightmare coming true, and heading off to Hamilton with a 2.5-year-old and wondering what that journey's like. And it's a 25-month journey treatment for a 2.5-year-old kid, and I don't even want to read off. I had looked at our blog, and my wife's an accountant, so she put down all the things that he had gone through, like, and just one, like, over 600 chemo treatments, surgeries, specialists, this, that, and the other thing. And this is a 2.5-year-old. So the positive side of that is they said there's a really good 90% chance that he'll make it through. All right, well, I know about math. 90% is pretty good. Well, that didn't work for us. So after 2 years of him being clear, he relapsed, and we went through it again. But this time he's older, stronger, angrier, and another 2 years. But this time I think it's almost like now we knew what we were getting into, which scared us but prepared us. So I wasn't going to let my wife go through all that again on her own. So I took time off from work. We pulled our kids from school, and we packed our bags, and we went to a place called Ronald McDonald House. And we pretty much made that our home for a couple of months. And that's where, some of these stories of hope come through. You would never meet these people that are the ones that are taking care of you unless you're in this really bad situation. And the storyline always is the same when you meet these people. Nice to meet you again. I'm just sorry that I have to meet you again, right? Like, because you come to these places, you don't want to be there, but they are just these, these experiences with, what was it? Like, we would never have met these people at the hospital, caring nurses, Child Life, Ronald McDonald House, Camp Trillium. Like, you probably don't know of a lot of these caring places that are there for families and that are just absolutely incredible. I wish I would have never met them, but we did. So that's kind of our story. And that second relapse, we finished December of 2019. So right now he's been 2 years clear of that. So now we're at the anxious stage again of wondering what's happening. So yeah, there we are.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for sharing. Any specific points that you really sense, God's presence through hope and peace? Like in those moments, being in the hospital, it's got to be very, very hard to find those things. And like Mr. Exinga said last week, looking and searching while still in the process is very, very difficult. But yeah, anything that you kind of saw through circumstances or people or just kind of big moments where God granted you that peace?
So it's in all these moments that. I've heard stories this week already, and people say, they grew up in a Christian home, they've gone to church, they've gone to Sunday school, and I would call this the Sunday school answers that I would have up to a certain point in my life, and the difference between head knowledge and heart knowledge. And all I had was head knowledge. And in math I talk about pure math and applied math, and one does need the other. But I'm all about the applied stuff. But I didn't have that. I didn't have the applied faith. And this is where it happened. It happened when, your friends aren't around, your support groups aren't around. We talked about support groups, right? Like, we had awesome support groups, like our small group, our immediate family, our church family, our school family. They surrounded us with love. But at 2 a.m, and I call these the 2 a.m. demons, when we have finished for the day and my wife has to stay at the hospital and I trudge to Ronald McDonald House through snow and, it's dark and you go, this is not how I planned life, right? And in those moments, like you're just looking for where is hope, where is God in all of this? And the hope that is there is, all that, going to those chapels for those 4 years, going to those Sunday school, all of that stuff that was the head knowledge, when all of a sudden, when you're in a free fall of a spiritual life and you're going, where is everybody? And there is no one around, and the only one that's there is Jesus. Like, that's where, you see hope. So in that walk, at 1 a.m, leaving the hospital, it's snowing outside. I go, God, really? Like now it's, it was nice all day. It's snowing. Walk into the hospital. No one's around. No one cares, it seems like. And there's God, right? That's the hope. And that's the circumstance. People, oh my goodness, yeah. You'd see people, the known people,
like I said, in our communities, but the ones that would really touch me would be the ones that you don't expect. The cleaning lady at the hospital. Like, I'd round the corner and she goes, "Hey, how's your son?" And I'm going, we just talked to you, and her name was Rose. We play a game when we get to the hospital, "Where's Alan?" And he's a porter. The funniest guy around. He's got dreadlocks. He's just the chattiest guy. And then all of a sudden I get a text. My wife goes, "Found Alan." I go, "Shoot," right? Like, but this is the guy. I text back, "Did he hug you?" Because he hugged me, right? Like, all these things, like, you gotta find the silver lining, the hope in all of that. It doesn't take away the pain, but it helps you, kind of deal with that, right? So walking in Lowe's looking for something, and Matthew's with me, and the big giveaway is his nose tube, right? And person that came up to us and goes, "Oh, before I help you, can I pray with you?" I go, "Sure," right? I didn't know who you're going to pray to, but I'll take it. So that's people, circumstance. It's all there, right? Like, yeah.
No, it's just beautiful to see. Yeah, God putting different people in your lives at different moments to just give you that extra boost of hope and peace when you need it. Yeah, it's beautiful. We all have that opportunity to do that in everybody's life, to take a moment and pray for somebody that's in need. It's beautiful. Yeah, just last kind of question and thought. If you had a message of hope for students today, what would you share with them? What would be kind of
this is a tough one. How much time is left? Just so I've been working with teenagers all my life. I felt like I went from being a teenager to working with teenagers. And the one lesson I've learned is if you tell a teenager to do something and they don't want to do it, there's no way of convincing them. They have to experience it. And I would love to be able to say, avoid this, do this, don't do that. And I know you're going to just go, well, no, I'm going to experience life on my own, right? Like, and that's where you kind of experience it. But hope is I was looking for some sort of explanation of that, and I had a few things down, and then all of a sudden this morning it came to me. Years ago, I went on a missions trip, and it was to Prague, and there's this famous bridge there called Charles Bridge, and I was at that bridge twice in one day. One day it was filled with hope, or the one time was filled with hope, and the second time with hopelessness. The first time was during the day. We were there with our group. We were evangelizing. The bridge was filled with vendors. There was, sunshine out. There was happiness. We came back that evening. All those happy vendors were replaced with homeless people, drug addicts. I walked up. I couldn't believe it was the same bridge I saw that morning. And I saw in the eyes hopelessness. And I'm going, how can one place be filled with hope and hopelessness kind of like at the same time? And sometimes it's just perspective. And for those of you that know me, I just a lot of times just want to have a good time, just want to look at the good things in life, but underneath there's a lot of things that I need to cope with and deal with, but I choose every day. I choose hope. I don't want to choose that hopelessness. It doesn't work every day, but a lot of it is mindset, and surrounding yourself with good people. Don't do the battle alone, but choose it. Choose to be involved with chapel, with people that care about you, with mentors, with people like. My wife and I have this agreement that we need to see people that will keep us on track. So I have my coffee buddies. She has her tea buddies. We have to do that. Like, you make just this conscious decision to choose that, because it'll fall apart otherwise, right? Like, so yeah, I got to go to work. I got to give you guys a quiz today. I gotta do all that. The answer's D&E, by the way. Right? Like,
it pays coming to chapel.
Like, I choose to enjoy life in the midst of all of that, right? And That's because I have faith, I have family, and it's there's tears, there's tears, but that's part of life. But we were talking about if you don't have that hope and faith, how do you cope with life? And I can see that hopelessness in few at times during the day, but I can also see that hope. So choose it. I guess that's the main thing.
No, it's just beautiful, the story of having things stripped away like health and and then having to choose, right? Choosing hope. And I think we've learned over the past couple of days that it takes work. It does take work to actually, get into that mindset and to believe that. Are there any kind of key passages or any songs that you just kind of had on repeat, or anything that you just had that was just really dear to you in those moments?
Yeah, the one that happened right before this, and we had a small group session, and I heard Mr. Idzinga talk about this, the difference between joy and happiness, and rejoice in the Lord always. And you're kind of going how do you do that? Well, it's not be happy all the time, right? Joy is much deeper than that, and that's what resonated with me in that. So you can find happiness in material things, but I think you find joy in experience, faith, people, and that type of thing. So that's where, that passage of rejoice in the Lord always, even in tears, even in the hospital, right? Even in the worst possible times. And that's because when you're in that free fall of life, if there isn't an anchor point somewhere, then you keep falling, right? So that's there's always other things, right? You got to find your things that'll inspire you, make you laugh. A good Marvel movie is always great, right? It is that joy that you're constantly seeking, and it can be elusive, right? It can be elusive, but you constantly look for that.
That's great. Yeah, can we just say thank you to Mr. Bueckert for sharing this morning? It's awesome. I hope that you, as students, just feel encouraged. I remember sitting in the chair, and I got a little emotional this morning. I'm still very emotional, but just being encouraged that there are teachers here that care more than just about your grades and you learning the content that you need to learn so you can be successful in life, that they care about how you're doing beyond that spiritually as well. So I hope you feel encouraged by that this morning. And as we continue, we have Mrs. Elliott sharing tomorrow morning. So I hope that you guys continue to come out and keep hearing the message of hope. And if you're feeling like you need prayer, if you're having struggles and a difficult time trying to find that hope and find that joy, we have people in the SLC all day, throughout the day, before you get to school, after you leave school. We're here. So please come talk to us, come find us. We'd love to walk with you through that. So let me pray, and then we can go out on our day. God, thank you so much for the hope that we can find in you. And God, the peace that you grant in situations where it seems like there is no peace, there is no hope. God, we're grateful that you are our hope and that you walk with us every single step of the way. We pray for Mr. Bueckert and his family and the journey that they're on. Thank you for the amazing testimony that he was able to share today and the encouragement that it is for us. Be with us as we go throughout our day. I pray that we be a blessing to the people around us. Amen. Quick announcements. Guys are meeting at lunch in the SLC. Girls, senior guys, sorry. Juniors can come. Anybody can come, really. So senior guys at lunch in the SLC, and then senior girls tomorrow for life groups. So we'll see ya. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.